Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the world around you fade. Together, we will journey to a realm where myths come alive and mysteries whisper their secrets. This is your moment to pause, to wonder, and to escape.
Echo and Narcissus, a tale of loneliness. Deep within the whispering forests of ancient Greece, where sunlight danced through emerald leaves and rivers sang soft lullabies, lived a nymph named Echo. She was unlike any other, joyful, playful, and blessed with a voice so melodious that even birds would pause to listen. She would weave through the trees, laughing with her sisters, her words flowing like a gentle stream. But Echo had a flaw. She loved to talk. She spoke endlessly, her words tumbling over one another, and in her excitement, she often failed to listen. Her chatter was harmless, yet it would soon become her undoing. One fateful day, Hera, the queen of the gods, descended from Olympus in search of her wayward husband Zeus. The king of the gods was known for his wandering affections, often disguising himself to steal moments with the nymphs of the forest. Hera, ever suspicious, arrived with fire in her heart, determined to catch him in the act. But Echo, loyal to her fellow nymphs, saw Hera approaching and hurried to intercept her. She greeted the goddess with warmth and charm, showering her with compliments, asking endless questions and spinning dits that had no end. The longer she spoke, the more time her sisters had to flee. Hera, at first patient, soon realized Echo's true intent. Her eyes darkened like a brewing storm, and she cursed Echo with a cruel fate. "Since you love to speak so much," Hera said coldly, "you shall now have no voice of your own. From this moment forward, you will only repeat the words of others. Never again will you speak so freely." And with that, Hera vanished, leaving Echo forever bound to the voices of those around her. The beautiful stranger. For the first time in her life, Echo was silent. She could not form her own thoughts into words. She could not express herself. When others spoke, she could only repeat their last words, a hollow echo of their voices. The other nymphs, once her friends, pitied her at first, but soon grew distant. Without her own words, she felt invisible. Lonely, lost, she wandered the forest, lingering in the shadows, longing to be heard. Then one day, she saw him. Narcissus. He was the most beautiful mortal she had ever seen. His golden curls shone like sunlight on the water. His eyes were the colour of the deepest seas, and his presence was like a flame that drew all towards him. Every nymph in the forest had fallen in love with him at first sight, yet none could capture his heart. For Narcissus loved no one but himself. He walked through the woods, his form effortless in its grace, unaware of the longing stares that followed him. Echo's heart ached. She wished she could call out to him, that she could make him see her, that she could tell him how deeply she already adored him. But she could not. all she could do was follow. A love that could never be. For days, Echo trailed behind Narcissus, watching him, hoping he would notice her. And then, one afternoon, as he walked among the trees, he called out, "Is someone there?" Echo's heart leaped. "There," she repeated. Narcissus frowned, turning his head. "Come to me," he called. "To me," Echo echoed, stepping forward, her eyes filled with hope. At last, she revealed herself, emerging from the trees, her face filled with longing. She rushed towards him, arms outstretched, desperate to hold him, to make him understand her silent love. But Narcissus recoiled. He frowned, stepping back. "Stay away from me," he said coldly. "Away from me," Echo whispered, her voice trembling. His rejection was like a dagger to her heart. Tears welled in her eyes, but she could not beg. She could not plead. She could only repeat his cruelty, her own pain twisted into mockery. Narcissus turned and walked away, leaving Echo behind, her soul shattered by loneliness. The curse of Narcissus. The gods had been watching. Nemesis, the goddess of divine justice, had seen Narcissus break countless hearts, his beauty a gift he used only for himself. And now she had seen Echo's suffering. She would not let it go unpunished. One day, as Narcissus wandered alone, he came upon a clear, still pool of water. The surface shimmered like glass, reflecting the sky above. He bent down to drink, but as he did, he saw something that made him freeze. A face. The most breathtaking face he had ever seen. Perfect features, soft lips, eyes like the endless ocean. He fell in love at once, utterly, hopelessly. His heart raced, his breath caught in his throat. But when he reached out to touch the stranger, the water rippled and the face vanished. He was in love with his own reflection. Again and again, he tried to embrace the vision before him, but it would not stay. He whispered sweet words, longing for the beautiful stranger to love him back, but the only response was his own words, echoing softly in the silent forest. Just as Echo had once longed for him, Narcissus now longed for a love that could never be. Day after day, he stayed by the pool, refusing to eat, refusing to sleep, mesmerized by the face that would never return his love. His body grew weak, his spirit faded, and at last he took his final breath, staring into the water. From that place where he'd once sat, a flower bloomed, a delicate blossom with white petals and a golden heart. It was the Narcissus flower, a symbol of beauty, vanity, and loneliness. And Echo? She watched from afar, unseen, unheard. Her love had been lost, her heart broken. She withered away, fading into nothing but a voice. To this day, in lonely forests and quiet mountains, When someone calls out, a voice answers back. A whisper, a repetition, an echo of the words before. The lesson of Echo and Narcissus. The story of Echo and Narcissus is one of love, loneliness, and the danger of obsession. Echo's fate teaches us the pain of losing one's voice, of being unheard and unseen. How often do we feel invisible in the world, longing for someone to truly listen? She reminds us of the importance of being able to express ourselves, to be valued for who we are, not just for what others hear in us. Narcissus, on the other hand, represents the danger of self-obsession. He could not see beyond his own beauty, beyond his own reflection, and in the end, it consumed him. His fate is a warning. When we love only ourselves, we end up alone. Yet there is a deeper truth here. Both Echo and Narcissus were lonely. One because she could not speak, the other because he could love no one but himself. Perhaps if he had only looked up from the water, if he had only seen her standing there, waiting, they could have saved each other. But some stories are meant to be tragedies. And so, their voices remain, one in the rippling waters, the other in the whisper of the wind.
As the whispers of myth fade into the stillness, carry their magic with you into the world. Until we meet again, let your spirit wander, and may your days be filled with wonder. Thank you for listening to Whispering Myths. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more, be sure to subscribe to Whispering Myths. That way, you won't miss out on any of the magical tales that I share. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment. Thank you for listening, and until we meet again, may the whispers of myth guide your dreams.